so hard that your hat can't fit ya. Either I'm with ya or against ya. Format bent ya. Back through that maze I sent ya. Talking to the rap inventor. The game type fifth, that flame right. Spell my name right. B-I-double-G-I-E. Iced out, lights out, me and Caesar Leo. Getting for some chick he know. See, it's all about the cheddar. Nobody do it better. Going back to Cali, strictly for the weather. Women and the sticky green. No seat, please. Papa ain't soft. Dead up in the hood. Ain't no love lost. Got me mixed up. You drunk them licks up. Mad cause I got my and my forfeit, the game is mine. I'ma spell my name one more time. Check it. It's the N-O-T-O-R-I-O-U-S. You just lay down slow. Recognize the real dawn when you see one. Sipping on booze in the house of blues. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to California. California, knows how to party. California, knows how to party. In the city of buildings, city of in the city of good ones, in the city of Compton. Keep it rockin', from Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area and back down, the Bay Area and back down, the Bay Area and back down, the Bay Area and back down.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Inside Spin with Jay Finn and DJ Dex. And today on the show, we got a old Packers linebacker, Super Bowl champ, Desmond Bishop joining us. How's it going, Des?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
My man,
So,
I got something to say. This one of my good buddies right here now. Probably best teammate I ever had, man. And it's just awesome to have this guy on the show. And man, he always show love, man. So yeah, D Bish.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual, bro. You my guy, man. We was roommates, for the camps. We was always roommates. And when you in camp, it's a grind that month of grind.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying, having you as my roommate and as a teammate, just being fire.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
it was a great connection.
And that's what fans love to hear about the nitty gritty, the details of training camps, the detail of the NFL, and man, vice versa, bro. You helped me get through that grind, man. You helped me get through get out of my head sometimes, and even though you came to the room and you got your little book and read your books or whatnot, I always felt that love, bro. So yeah, man, you always got love from Finn.
Yeah, for sure. All time.
That's awesome. Well, getting into last night's game, I mean, obviously Packers, Bakhtiari out again, Jamal Williams, A.J. Dillon out, COVID protocol, and then rookie linebacker Kamal Martin out again last night too. A lot of players on the 49ers just down. You got Garoppolo out with an injury, George Kittle, stud, probably best tight end in the league right now, out for the remainder of the season, and then a bunch of them just riddled with injuries.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hop in right there. As far as Kittle being hurt, man, I thought that was a big L for the San Francisco 49ers, man.
Yeah.
Even though the quarterback is playing mediocre or whatnot, I thought Kittle being out with that little bone injury in his foot, hey, that's big. And what guys don't know, that hinders guys from playing to their full ability over the span of their career too. So I think that's a big injury for Kittle.
Yeah.
And I think Bosa's injury is even more impactful in the sense because I obviously come from a defensive perspective, and I think obviously defense win championships, and so when you don't have one of the best players not only on your team but one of the best players in the league, that's gonna be a big hit on your team and on your organization.
I like that, man. That's very true.
And especially with the pressure that you're going to get without Bakhtiari. I mean, obviously last week the line held for most of the game. Rodgers only sacked one time. And then going into last night, I believe he was only sacked one time too.
Yes.
But if you put Bosa on that line, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, defensively. But yeah, I mean, then we get the news today. Apparently another player who played in last night's game tested positive for COVID. Hasn't come out yet who it was, but a lot of people are going into this week. Obviously, Jermichael, we talked about it last week with Brandon, where these tests started coming out, and we don't even know if this week's game is going to be played, especially on a short week. So yeah, now, I mean, a lot of people I've seen on Twitter already complaining about it, just saying we shouldn't have even played last night's game, now finding out another player tested positive. What are you guys' thoughts on obviously just everything different this year, preparing for a game on a short week with all the questionables around? I mean, didn't know about Aaron Jones till game time, and then obviously going up against a depleted team. Are you guys kind of riding high, overlooking them a little bit, or how's it work in the locker room on a short week like that?
I think it's just you kind of just going, airplane mode, and who's next. Do your routine as quick as you can, get on your film, do your studying, and go. I don't think guys really put too much emphasis on who the team has or who they don't have. It's like we're gonna get our game plan, and then we gonna go with it. And you got to just kind of trust whatever the coach's game plan is. And I've seen the Packers offense, even with Bosa out and some of the guys out, it looked like the game plan was to get the ball out fast. It was Aaron Rodgers. Let's move it. So I thought that was smart, and so I think that's kind of the game plan from the coaches was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's tough, like I said, playing on a short week, man, especially with guys nicked up or whatnot. Aaron Jones was they didn't feed him the ball too much, but he got some work in. But like I said, it's just tough coming back on a short week, man, especially in the National Football League.
Yeah,
I remember I came back on a short week. I think it was I want to say it was a Thursday Thanksgiving game. We had just played Sunday, and then we played right again that Thursday, and I popped my calf. And at the time, I didn't know. You're young. I'm like, I can go forever. And I popped that calf, and I was thinking back on it, like, man, that was probably that short week. My body just hadn't had time to recover, and I played, most of the snaps. So, but yeah, it's definitely, something that you have to be wary of, listening to your body, going into them short weeks, and but it's part of the game.
Yeah.
And D-Bish, you tell them how conservative the Green Bay Packers organization is as far as the team doctor. I think fans and guys on the outside do not know how conservative.
Are you talking about Pat McCann's?
Oh my God, man! He's. Tell him how conservative he is, D-Bish.
No, I mean, you mean as far as like, not if you hurt, they gonna make sure
a three-week injury will turn into a whole year.
Yeah, for real. Like they don't take no chances, man. It's and as a player, obviously you like, no, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to get back in. They take you out and test, you feel good, and they come back and be like, we're gonna wait another week. And be like, oh man.
You guys are getting put on that Michael Thomas week to week.
Yeah. and in the long run, it's smart. Obviously for the fans, you want to get in, players you want to get in, but for the longevity of it, it's smart to make those decisions.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I give kudos to Coach Pat McKenzie as far as sitting guys out for the long haul. But today I feel a lot better from that as far as my legs. Kudos to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, after all that, we're getting into game one or quarter one. Obviously, all the uncertainties with the game. You don't know how it's going to go. Packers run defense, obviously from last week, is hurting, and you go into the NFC Championship game of last year with Raheem Mostert running all over the Packers, going for over 200. So even still, people have questions. They're like, all right, cool. Well, it doesn't matter if the 49ers have all these people out. We might still get ran all over. Start out hot, score on the first drive again, like we have all year. Rodgers puts a dime to Devontae, makes a beautiful adjustment, and still stays in bounds. So what are we thinking after that first drive?
I thought that first drive was pretty awesome, man. Especially, and I'm looking at the game and how they're scheming guys, and they're making sure 17 have the ball early and often, just because if you get him the ball early and often, you get him in tuned and acclimated to the game that you're in. So I can see them inside the locker room or inside the classrooms scheming, finding ways to get him the ball because this dude's scoring. He's scoring often, man, and he's scoring. He's getting 100 plus yards a game. So you can tell he's heavy in that game plan. But like I said, you only got 12 only got 17 to throw to.
Yeah.
During the course of what we did, we had to, man, you had to eat that pigskin when you got a chance.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking at it. I was looking at the Packers, how they was going to come out. I was looking at the run game matchup. You know, the Packers, Niners have a stout run defense. They got good linebackers, good D line, and I was saying like if the Packers really want to be successful in this game, in my opinion, they have to establish some kind of run. Like they got to establish some kind of respect. And when they came out, Jones was running for some good yards. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. You know, whoever designed that offensive game plan was they saw something, they knew what they were doing, and they did a good job.
Yeah, I looked at the start of the game, obviously starting with a quick little drop off to Aaron Jones, just get him in the action early, get him acquainted after missing 2 weeks with that calf injury. And then he, on that first drive, like you said, had a couple good runs. But yeah, I mean, you're mixing Devontae in there, and then he's just starting to go off. So it's crazy, man. He's only played 6 games, has 3 games now with over 10 catches, 150 yards, and a touchdown. Last night going for 173, another 10 catches again on 12 targets. But like you said, Jermichael, I mean, that's
you know I'm about to say something.
Yeah.
You know I'm about to come in and say something. But my thing is just when we play the my word is when you play the Dogs, man, I gotta see you in action. Houston, okay. They okay. San Francisco, terrible defense. Yesterday they did. It's not terrible overall, but I need to see 17 when we get in the playoffs, man. I don't want to see all that ankle injury and all that crap. I need to see you.
Yeah. And that's and I think it's good to get 10 catches, hundreds of yards, touchdowns, but it's kind of like basketball. You know, James Harden, he go off throughout the season and even throughout the playoffs, but eventually, your body can give way. So when he getting these 10 catches, I'm like, yes, fantasy numbers is great, but you want to be able to mix that thing up so you can stay as fresh as possible for when the Dogs come. Because when the Dogs come and when everybody is hitting on all cylinders, that's when the best really rise to the top.
Absolutely.
I mean, for you guys, are you guys worried about Devontae either burning out or teams kind of figuring him out? If he's going to keep getting 10 catches a game, I mean, it's like these running backs carrying the load throughout the season. I know it's not the same as getting 20 plus carries and getting dinked on every play because he's not necessarily getting hit as much as a receiver. But I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that he's still getting 10 catch, and these teams just can't seem to stop it as of yet.
Yeah, and I think that goes. I got to give 12 kudos because 12 is going to get in there. He's going to dissect everything. And like I said, you've been seeing guys touch the ball that you ain't never seen. This whole season. So he's getting everybody, in the game and guys touching the ball that, like I said, that never touched it. And you got one of his favorite targets out in Lazar over there. So I think, like I said, I think 12 having one of his best seasons of his career.
Absolutely.
Alone, if you want to be selfish.
Yeah. So, going back onto the next couple drives, you're looking at, obviously, Rodgers only finding Devontae and Jermichael, like you said. You're saying he's only got the one target. Good news is Lazard coming back this week, so he's going to have at least another target to reach out to. But on one of those next drives, he finds Valdez-Scantling wide open, drops the ball, and you see Rodgers just kind of stare him down. I mean, it was kind of crazy for me just seeing him just eyeball him as soon as he dropped it. And you're like, man, is he going to go back to him anymore? Is he losing these trust in these younger receivers? Obviously, ended up finding MVS 2 big touchdowns. How do you look at it for Rodgers, knowing you play with him, dropped a couple passes? I mean, what are you doing there?
For an offensive guy, man, it's very defeating, actually, as far as him looking at you and during the course of a game. But he is a quarterback. He's out competing too. So you got to look at it through his vision too. As far as, hey, look here, man, I'm giving you the ball. I'm trusting you. We got the game plan, and look, all I need you to do is catch the ball. And Scantling didn't do that, but you got to come back to he blew the cap off of it one time, and you got to give him some love there. And
Absolutely,
he had a 2-tutty game, and I thought he gained a lot of respect, confidence, and all of that last night in the Bay Area. So I thought he played well. I was a little hard on him too as a offensive guy, and hey, myself, I done dropped several balls. Like I say, you play the game long enough, he gonna drop it again.
Oh, for sure.
Next week. So, man, I give the guy a lot of kudos for just coming back and redeeming himself.
Yeah. And then as far as defense goes, I mean, our defense, the players that are supposed to are starting to show up. You got Preston Smith making a sack, Zadarius Smith coming up big with a strip sack, covering the own fumble. Desmond, what about you defensively? How'd you look yesterday?
I think the defense looked good. The Niners, their offensive run scheme is top of the line, I think they held up pretty good, all things considered. But I think it helps when you have an explosive offense, when your offense really gets going. It's kind of a gift and a curse, because now the opposing team's offense is like they got to pass. They got to ramp up. But in the Niners situation, it's like we want you to pass more so than run, because when the Niners get the running and they get that momentum, I think that's when they're at their best. When they have to pass more, then they're not as effective, even though they're still a solid team. But so I think it played right into the Packers' hands, which was perfect.
Yeah, and I thought it was huge. I mean, they got pressure on him 2 times in a row. The second time, Mullins ended up just getting hit, and the ball just flutters, gets picked off, which was huge. I mean, it was good to see them actually getting some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, it was. 55 is nice, too.
Yeah. He's a stud, man. It's good to see both of those Smith boys getting some action and then getting in on the quarterback, getting dirty. So it's nice to see.
And that's why those rushers, they get paid the big bucks, because if you can put pressure on the quarterback, and that's the chances of you winning just go up so tremendously that it's very important for the game plan.
Like we always say, and you said it at the beginning of the show, championship wins games. And I believe that, because over here in this little Pop Warner football, they asked me, Finley, do you want to coach offense or defense? I was like, give me defense.
Right.
Because I got London, he's straight head hunter. You feel me?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
So defense wins championships, and like if I said, like I said, if the Packers continue to play defense and get their guys on one accord and get their injuries, all their guys, just lift them up off their training table and get them on that field. The Packers they can do something, man. But like I said, when it's time to go one and go home, I need them guys to show up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and obviously with Jair Alexander coming out in the middle of the game yesterday, it kind of opened up a little bit more passing for the Niners. I mean, that kid Richie James had 9 catches, 180 yards. He's just a burner, man. I mean, the kid's got some wheels.
He's a Texas boy. Remember that.
But yeah, I mean, as far as defensively as a whole, they look good. And then we're going to go on next week, play Jacksonville on a long week. So you guys got full 10 days of rest. And should be getting most of those guys back pending any of this COVID stuff. So we'll see. But Rodgers' demeanor, as far as me watching the game, man, it's crazy and it's scary when you get Rodgers on the field and he's making these throws and just laughing and smiling, I mean, defensively, you got to look at that and just be like, man, we got one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and he's just out here toying with us and having fun while he's doing it, man.
And offensively, as a coach and as a player, and if you see him 12 smiling, throwing balls, and he's ha and gee, and hey, that's a good sign though, because it shows you that he's in tune. He's still in tune with the game. As far as he's been playing for a long time, man. He's still having fun, so that's a great sign for the organization.
Yeah,
and I like seeing 12 smile.
Yeah.
I don't like to see them little blue eyes and all. Yeah, no. Let's be happy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So as far as next week, I mean, what are you guys looking forward to defensively, Desmond? If you got any things that you think the defense needs to improve on going into next week, and then Jermichael, offensively, what do we need to improve on? Obviously, getting Lazard back is going to be huge. Jacksonville, not the best team in the world, but you obviously it's the NFL. You still got to come to play every single game. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Right. Yeah, like I said, like it doesn't matter who you play. The game is set, and every team is capable. Any given Sunday, right? It's the truth. So we don't care what the other team, what their record is, who they have. We just focus on our game plan, knowing our keys, and then just going out there and trying to be great. Like on an individual level, every player should be thinking like, how can I be great within the scheme of the team, and then as a whole, just gelling as one and just understanding everybody and understanding where you need to fit, where your guys need to fit, and then the coach is just putting guys in the right position so they can be comfortable and doing what they like to do best and making plays. I think the Packers are always good at that, and I think that they'll figure out a way to continue to do that. So I'm looking forward for them to continue to grow as a team. And as for me, I remember playing with Aaron Rodgers. He out there dicing up other defenses. You take a lot of pride in like, all right, he's doing his part, the offense is doing their part, we got to do our part. We be the weak link. So that was always our thing. Like we ain't the weak link. We actually strength. Like how do we hold it down for the team, and even on special teams, like for the most of the time I was on special teams, and we called each other goon squad. Like we had to go. We had a great offense, a great defense. Like we don't want to be the reason why we lose, so we ramped it up. So I think just taking that pride, I think that'll be like 90% of the battle.
Absolutely.
I like that, D-Biss. Yeah, offensive for me, man, it's really D-Biss said it all. Really, just gel as one, and get these guys that's injured back on the field. That's very key first. Before you start gelling and getting everybody on one accord, you got to get these guys legs under them, because, like I said, it's a long season, man. It's week 10 next week, and it's a haul, man, to get to that championship. And I think, like I said, I think the Packers can't do it. And like you got to lift them guys up off the training table and get them guys on the field healthy. Yeah,
I mean, as far as having Aaron Jones back, he was a little bit managed yesterday. Only 20 total touches, 15 carries, 5 catches. But having him back is huge for the Packers. I mean, Jamal Williams, no doubt, was carrying the load for him and doing a great job. But having Aaron Jones back, I mean, I said for a year or so, I think he's a top 5 running back. And we'll see. I mean, he's going to just keep dominating, and that's going to keep opening up the field for these other receivers. Devontae, hopefully have Lazard back. Tanyan didn't really do a lot yesterday. You used to Rodgers finding him. Not much out of him yesterday. But yeah, I mean, we got to keep it rolling, and it's going to be tough in the NFC. Seattle's getting Jamal Adams back. They're already good without him, and then Buccaneers adding Antonio Brown into the mix. What do you guys think about him?
I like him, man. Everybody say he's a head case, he's a talker, but like I said, man, guys been playing this game since I was 5 years old. You feel me?
Yep.
And the excitement and the joy you see, these guys probably been doing that since they was little toddlers, loving football, dancing, doing that thing, talking that, he is from Florida, talking that junk. So That's guys loving the game. I don't care if it was a 3rd and 5. If I get that 5, I'm finna show you something. You heard me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how the guys built. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Antonio. Can't wait to see him on the field, and it's gonna be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I don't know why people be so upset. Like, he's loud and passionate. That means he loved the game. I'd rather him do that than the person just not drop the pass or miss a tackle and just like, oh, well, like what? No, like I want to see some passion.
I want you to be competitive out here. Yeah,
it means that you're trying to get it, and if you're trying to get it, that's the only way to win. If you're trying to get it, so I love AB. I got a lot of respect for him. I know he has some other issues, maybe off the field and stuff, and I don't really even know too much about it. But on the field, if he can, get it together and get with a system and a team and a quarterback who appreciates passion and good route running and competition, and I think he's primed for a breakout season.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they picked him up, I was like, holy shit, that's scary. It's going to be almost similar to how you guys were on offense. I mean, you got Gronk, Mike Evans, Godwin, and now you add Antonio Brown, and then they got Ronald Jones in the backfield. I mean, with a brain like Tom Brady leading the team, it's a scary, scary, scary team on paper. And we'll see if they can make it work.
Right. I've watched a little bit of the Bucs too, and I can tell Brady is used to a certain type of knowledge from his players a little bit. I can see like he missed the receiver sometimes, and I can tell like the receiver is supposed to sit down in that window or maybe keep going in that window. And it's like I can see it's a little bit off, but I think once they get that clicking and once they understand, what Tom Brady wants, I think it's going to be they can have a tremendous amount of success.
Yeah, and obviously with the news coming out, they were saying the last couple of weeks, Antonio Brown has just been living with Tom Brady. So he's going to be on the right page as far as playbooks, schemes, everything like that. Brady's going to hold him accountable of everything, which also for me makes it even more scary because, I mean, Brady's going to keep him level-headed and make sure he's doing all the right things because like he was on the Patriots, I mean, for the weeks that he was on the Patriots, they were gelling together and they look good. So we'll see what they can do down in Tampa. So,
and I think this is probably his last shot.
For sure.
It is.
This is it. So
and he's got a great coach over there in Bruce too. So he's gonna hold that foot on their neck. So I like him as a head man.
I think that's good for him too to have like Todd Bowles over there as well. Like just guy who kind of like players coaches, who not as players coaches. So it's like, all right, we understand you might be upset, but we gonna come back to you though, because you want the ball. Your man's the ball then. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Guess who we're and that's Mike McCarthy, man. Mike could come sit with you in breakfast or whatnot and just shoot the shit with you and show you love. And he'll never stray from you. So he's a Mike McCarthy type of coach for sure.
Yeah. So, closing out on NFL, going back to a little college football since we had a Thursday game, we're getting this show in before the college games are getting played. My Badgers canceled another game, not playing against Purdue this week because of all the COVID outbreak that they've had. So with 2 games canceled in an 8-game Big Ten season, I mean, that's huge. It's got to hurt all your college football playoff hopes. And then they come back next week against Michigan. We'll see how that goes. And then Texas going up against Kansas State, or West Virginia, I'm sorry, who just beat number 16 Kansas State. So 2 4-2 teams. West Virginia's got a top D line, and they're going to put some pressure on Ellinger. And Texas is missing their starting running back too. How do you feel about that game, Jay?
Oh man, I think Texas. They got guys on the shelf, and it's just all about like we talked about our NFL coaches and Bruce and Mike McCarthy. Is that Herman has to be a player's coach. He has to go into these guys, get in these guys' face and say, "Look here," and show these guys the way. And I don't think he has done that as far as like a Mac Brown or a guy like that we once had. But like I said, Texas just beat Oklahoma State, number 6. So they're on a momentum boost. So I think they're rolling and kicking. But like I said, the big thing with Texas over the last couple of years is just being consistent.
Yeah,
these guys ain't been they ain't been too consistent. So this week they gotta keep rolling and keep Ellinger off his back. Ellinger got to get the ball out a little quicker. Stop running it like he's a running back and go to game. But other than that, my Texas boys are rolling, and I'm excited to see them boys play this upcoming weekend.
I mean, he might have to run it a little bit more with Ingram out this week, but we'll see. And then Desmond, you're a California guy, obviously. Yesterday, playing the 49ers. You're from the Bay Area. Your Golden Bears got a week off this week, and then come back next week against Arizona State, who, like you said, top recruits. I mean, they're getting back into it. They got a tough game against USC this week. How they been doing this year? You got anything you want to add about them?
I know the head coach, Justin Wilcox, who was actually my linebacker coach when I played at Cal. He took over the head coaching job a couple of years ago, and I think he's turning the program around.
Nice.
It's so hard to get into Cal, for student athletes to get into Cal, that you kind of lose a lot of the top athletes because you have to have a mixture of both of the academics and so it's a little tougher. But I think the type of kids that you get to actually go to Cal are very resilient kids. So I believe that with Wilcox in there at the helm and some of the recruits that we have gotten and some of the guys who's been there for a while, I think they're like seniors now, and they've been there, in the program for a couple of years. I think it's time for Cal. We're gonna turn the corner. I think we're gonna surprise a lot of teams. We got a veteran quarterback, so I think we're gonna surprise a lot of teams. And so I'm looking forward to see how they put it all together.
That's awesome.
I want to thank my boy D Bishop for coming out and hanging on the spin with me and DJ Dex. Man, it was awesome having you on here, bro. Man, hey, tell me one thing though. You gotta tell me one thing before we get off the mic. Tell me one thing that that you missed. About playing back in, back in when you did play, man. The thing that stuck with you.
Dang, that's a good question. Something that I miss.
Threw you on the spot, bro.
We're on the spot. What do I miss? It would have to be just like the camaraderie with the guys, seeing them every day, just on the grind. And when you on the grind with people, and even if you don't even necessarily really speak to them every day about anything, just being in people's presence in an NFL grind, like you create a chemistry that's like, I feel like it's lifelong, just like me and you. Like we might not even see each other or may not even speak for a while, but when we do, it's like it's right back to it. It's like it's my dog is, and obviously everybody got their own lives and doing their own thing, so we don't get to speak as much. But whenever we do, I just talk to Pep. It's my dog, Charlie Pepper. Like boom, it's like it's right back. You know what I mean? So I miss that connection, with the guys. But other than that, though, I see these cats falling and hitting. I'm like, oh no, I don't want none of that.
You don't want no part of it. I'm with you, bro.
But yeah, so that would be the biggest thing.
Good, bro. Man, like I said, man, appreciate you coming hang on the spin with me and DJ Dex, bro. I hope life good, bro. Hope the kids good, and man, take care though.
Yes, sir. All right, boy. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, y'all.
You got it.